let's have a look a little bit about the content. So my name is Mika Lapiessa. I'm the board member, and as I said, I'm also the moderator of this webinar today. I have also a colleague from Super Operator, Ari Olander, who is the sales director. And then we have one of our very important partner from Germany, from Axel Springer, Nicholas Maybaum. And I'm sure that these people will introduce themselves to you in the due time. Before we go on with my presentation, I just wanted to say thank you, Arja. Arja is behind the wheel, so to speak. Arja has organized this webinar. Arja is the head of marketing of Super Operator, and he will be overlooking us all, and I'm sure that everything will be going very smoothly. Okay, so let's start with the first presentation, which is about digitalization. And then we go to the case study, and then we go to the talking a little bit about the future, what the future car wash business could look like and is starting to look like. And then we have the Q&A session. So with that, I will start a little bit laying the land, so to speak. I want to talk about digitalization, and very interesting point here is that I just saw the study. My background, by the way, is in the software industry, and I've been involved in a Super Operator now for 2 years, and it's been very interesting journey. So coming from the software industry and seeing the opportunities, what the technology can do by combining the best practices and processes in the car wash business. But I saw a very interesting study recently from IDC that 2/3 of the global companies are actually updating their analog business strategies with digital. So that's a stunning number. And also in the other one, this is a really recent study from McKinsey, which is one of the largest consultancy companies in the world, said that the COVID has accelerated the uptake of digital technologies by 7 years. And I think we all have seen that the life around us has changed dramatically, and it's not only changed our behavior, but it's also forming and changing the businesses. So a couple of words about digitalization, what it means, what is important. I try to give a little bit sort of a unique perspective to this. Then I want to talk a little bit about market drivers, what's happening in the big picture, for instance, in the car industry, how the consumers are changing, and then lastly, talk a little bit about how to seize this opportunity, because I believe that time is right now for looking digitalization in this context very seriously. So digitalization means different things for different people, and traditionally people think that, or which is actually true, is that digitalization is about digitalizing analog processes. So paper-based processes, making them digital. And I think we all have seen that, and it's going on still. Some countries are a little bit more advanced than the others. But what digitalization maybe in the car wash business means is that how do you combine the digital with analog? And this connectivity and combining these two are very, very important. And there are a couple of sort of key, excuse me, I had a problem with my moving the slides. But anyway, so when we talk about digitalization, we always think about the technology, and technology is important. And as I said, I'm coming from a technology industry. But what I learned in the past 20 years being involved in this is that technology is only an enabler. So it's not the end goal. And what I mean by that is that you should really think about what you want to accomplish. And then you need to choose the technology accordingly. And that means that you need to take a look at, for instance, like if you're running a big network of car washes, is the technology scalable? How many car wash sites do you want to manage? What's your wash count? Is the technology safe? Can you connect the technology to the other systems, or building the solution so that you can connect to other systems, your CRM systems, maybe even your customer systems? You have to look at the data privacy things as well, and choose the technology in such a way that it doesn't lock you in to the current state, but helps you to scale when you are transforming your business. Now, as an example, maybe we could talk a little bit about the super operators technology and our solution, and that gives you a little bit idea how much actually technology is there behind the way we are helping car wash businesses to digitalize themselves. For instance, if we start with the master box, that's the technology where we connect the car wash equipment into the digital world, and this is one of the key pieces of our solution, and how we have built this, we have built it so that it agnostic, it can connect to any kind of a car wash type or equipment type, and also in such a way that it's very scalable. The other piece, which is a very important piece of our solution, is license plate recognition technology, where we use artificial intelligence, and there are lots of automatic license plate recognition solutions out there. But if you think about this in the context of the car wash business, you need to also look at things like, okay, does it work with all sorts of license plate types, or does it help enable you to blur, for instance, if there are some people accidentally in the pictures. But this using artificial intelligence here is important, because it also makes the recognitions of license plate very quick. And for instance, if you are operating car wash tunnels, this is very important. It has to be really, really quick and accurate how you recognize the license plates. But also, because of the artificial intelligence in this context, we can add features like we can start recognizing also, for instance, the different car models, which of course then in the return helps us to maybe modify the car wash programs according to the car wash, to the car models, or how dirty the car is. Now, behind every good system, there's a way to collect data, because that's one of the key points. And if you are able to collect the data, not only the car wash equipments, but also from your consumers, and you can overlay that data with your, let's say, data from your ERP systems or cash register systems, you get much more insights to your business, which helps you to optimize it accordingly. And then, of course, when we're talking about digitalization, people think always mobile. And I think it's very important that you provide different ways for consumers to connect to your digitalized car wash businesses. For instance, it could be through a mobile app. It is not on the only one. And unfortunately, sometimes people focus too much on the app and think that it's good enough. that we have done the digitalization if we have app out there. It's just a little piece of the bigger pie. But to summarize this technology, this is really about how we are helping you to connect analog to digital. And that opens lots of things, because it also means that not only from the equipment outwards, but also, for instance, from the consumer's point of view or from your customer's point of view into your systems and your services. I think I need to speed up here a little bit. Now, I have a little bit problem moving this. Okay. The other important point about digitalization is the aspect of transformation. And what I mean by this is that the digital strategy helps to evolve your business. It doesn't mean that you're replacing something, because you can't replace analog car wash. Car wash will be analog forever, I think. But it helps you to evolve it. And what that's mean, the transformation word means, you could sort of tie it to three different things. Business efficiency, which means that you can actually increase the efficiency of your existing business. It could be, for instance, that you can wash more cars with your existing capacity. You can maybe shorten the time between two cars when you're washing them. Or also, what's really important in the transformation is the customer experience. And the customer experience is, as you know, it's popping up everywhere. And I think customer experience in this context could be like how you personalize the experience, how you look at things like customer journeys, meaning that how you connect with your consumers before they come to the car wash site, whilst they are in the car wash site, and then how do you engage with them after they have left that. So the customer experience will be one of the key differentiators and factors you can compete with the other businesses. So the customer centricity is definitely what this business transformation means, and you should pay attention to. And then lastly, the business model innovation. And I think we have seen several examples in the industries where the business models have dramatically changed, and people are talking about these disruptions. For instance, we could take Airbnb. You know, it's totally changed the whole hotel industry, and it's a very interesting example of that. But this also in the car wash business context, this could mean that how you evolve your price plans, how to make pricing which is maybe dynamic, or how do you connect your B2B customers to this, having the different price models, or how you maybe use the opportunity to roam the extra capacity you have maybe available to the other networks, or how do you sell it to totally new parties. For instance, we have some examples where insurance companies or car manufacturers are starting to buy this capacity and wants to combine your services into their offerings. So transformation is another thing I want you to sort of keep in mind when talking about this digitalization. Now, really quickly about what's happening in the bigger context. Car industry, as we all know, is changing, and if you sort of zoom into that, what does that mean in a kind of in a high level? So one thing is definitely that the product centricity is moving into service orientated businesses. And that means, for instance, that the car or the mobility will be more and more, or driving will be more and more consumed as a service. So we all know that, for instance, in Germany, there's lots and lots of these type of new ways to get a car, and also here in Amsterdam, by the way, that you don't have to own any more car. You buy it as a service. And of course, the other thing, interesting thing, is what is happening in the car industry is the technology. The technology is changing. For instance, we see electrification and autonomous driving happening. But there's also lots of things happening in a cockpit, hence the picture here. The cockpit is people are talking about the fourth screen, and it's kind of a connectivity point. And also the car OEMs are paying lots of attention how they can personalize that experience and also connect that to different services. So user centricity is definitely one of the big things the car OEMs are talking about. And then lastly, the connectivity. So car OEMs are building and have built connectivity technologies that the cars will connect to certain infrastructures. For instance, we all know about smart cities, but it could be also service infrastructures, such as charging or car maintenance or any other type of services, navigation and so on. And now, if you think about your car wash business, if you have that connectivity in the available, your car wash business is enabled to connect to these type of frameworks or networks, then you can start seeing that actually the cars can connect to your businesses. So if you don't have that capability, then you are kind of missing the opportunity, which could mean, for instance, that your car wash site will pop up in a cockpit. And there are already solutions which are enabling that, and that's really fantastic. It could be also it could also mean that you could start cooperating with the car OEMs, and you could tailor your wash programs accordingly. And there's lots of innovation which could happen if you have that connectivity, if your equipments are connected in this digital world, so you can then now and later on start enjoying this. Now, the other thing, and we all are consumers, these are the customers, and we usually pick up some technologies like mobile, and then it is disrupting the market. Now, this big change, and I spoke about how the whole digitalisation has accelerated, is because of COVID. So we don't really like it, obviously, but it has really boosted, the uptake of digital and digital transformation and so on. And I think this webinar is a good example of that. I also say that consumers, if you look at whether it's booking a hotel, ordering food, or whatever, user experience is absolutely key for consumers. And I think it's also one thing is that if you provide user experience for your car washes, that people don't even have to think about anything else. They just drive there and they drive out, they have a clean car. That itself is a huge benefit over your competition. And I think that kind of a user experience helps to also maybe fight and prevent the eroding price points. And then lastly, but not least, is the sustainability. And sustainability is I think we are going to have a webinar about this. I think it's time for us to start talking a little bit more as an industry to the consumers, like how we are taking care of our environment, and the digital technology helps in that. There's lots of ideas, for instance, that you could communicate to customers how you're recycling the water, how you are reducing the water count. If they, for instance, you could say that they're choosing a specific program, so how much water did they save, or chemicals and so on, what type of chemicals you are using and so on. So sustainability is definitely, next to the user experience, is something which is becoming more and more important. And by the way, I forgot to mention about the COVID, and this is very, very interesting. When COVID happened, and we provide this contactless means to get your car washed, so people don't have to open the window, they don't have to pay or anything. So we saw big uptake in those stations where this was available. So I think this safety aspect is also very important, which is of course driven by the COVID. Okay, then just to sum up, technology is the enabler. It enables the transformation. Choose it wisely. Make sure that it fits your needs now and also in the future. Think about your business, how the technology can help and digitalization can help your business. Align your business goals and the digitalization strategy very well. And then also look for partnerships. Like what we want to do here is that we want to partner up with our clients and help them to use the digital technologies, and we want to be partner for long term. We want to really help to take our partners to this digital journey. So partnerships are very important, and also partnership with other actors in this industry. So with that, I think time is right. It's happening. Make sure that you are not left behind. And with that, I want to thank you very much for your time. And I think now it is time for some questions.
Yes, thank you, Mika. And please send your questions in the chat. And after all the presentations, we have still time for questions.
Okay,
Mika, I have one question, maybe real quick. What I just saw at first, if you talk about the AI that comes through the camera system and then the sustainability aspect, do you think it's possible to see how dirty the car is with several cameras and then adjust the, I don't know, water and chemistry consumption in the car wash?
Yeah, that's a good question, and yes, absolutely. That's where we're heading with this, and it opens a lot of opportunities. To have the intelligence in using the visuals, and there's a lot of other things also. Like we could check if there are any scratches in the cars before before they are being washed, and we could also check things like are there any like racks or needs to be moved and so on. So there's a lot of interesting ideas we have, but definitely, I think the big thing is that we need to be able to adjust the wash programs, the usage of water and chemicals according how dirty the car is. Okay. Any other questions? If not, then I will hand over the digital floor, to Ari.
Okay, thanks, Mika. So let's get in. So first of all, I'm Ari Olander. I'm a sales director here in Super Operator. I started in car washing business already several years ago in Finland with sales, and then when we sold out our own operations, I've been working with this software business. And here today, I'm going to have a very nice study case to tell you. It's about a dirt brand created by ST1 in Sweden. And here is the agenda. What was done? In fact, here I'm going to explain what the dirt team did in practice. And dirt team in this case means the ST1 team with ProWash team, which is WashTech importer in Sweden and Finland. So they have been doing the work together. So this part is mainly their practical work, what was done. Then when we jump to the results, you will immediately understand why we took this dirt as a study case. So explanation is in the figures. Then enabling factors will tell the key elements that are brought by this super operator platform, what we were bringing in the game and what was their role. And then when we go to the lessons learned, there would be a hell of a lot of details to learn, but in fact I will concentrate on 3 high-level statements that I will give it to you. Then let's get going. So what the dirt team did, choice of good location. So they used to have unmanned site branded with ST1, and they were planning what could they do with the site or with the location if they were adding there some additional services. They of course checked about the customer mix in the neighborhood. They were checking about the competition situation, and finally this location where they started it was perfect for that. Then creation of a new innovative brand. They created. In fact, I can show you can see this kind of color named dirt. It's out of the normal procedure how we are doing. Normally we are branding with the name of the company. So I think that was a very nice idea, and in fact there was a thinking behind. So they were thinking that they would like to have a brand that can be used somewhere else than this ST1 location. So that kind of brand and colors and idea is perfect for any kind of urban environment or shopping center. So very nice reflection. Then totally digital unmanned washing concept. Of course, when the ST1 site was unmanned, cold petrol station, unmanned concept is perfect. And then there is even a nice coincidence what happened in this process. So in fact, they had even they had ordered a payment terminal to the site, but luckily the delivery was in late, and because the start was so wonderful, it was a good decision to drop out the payment terminal to have a problem with the smooth flow of customer journey. So now there is no payment terminal at all. It's only digital and application based location. Then good and slightly aggressive price setting. So in fact they were putting the single wash pricing at the market level. So they are like any other competitors on the market, but then they were pricing the monthly subscriptions slightly aggressive way, and especially when they were looking for the bargain hunters, they created a night subscription that was nicely priced, and they sought, so to say, they got the price hunters to wash in the night or late in the evening, and all the other ones are using the daytime. So very, very, very nice way of doing it. Then their marketing activities, even if I'm saying very simple, it doesn't mean that they were not good ones, because they started with the sustainability idea. They were communicating with the local authorities to the neighborhood that, hey, you should start to wash with this kind of environmental friendly way of washing instead of doing it at home. With that, mailing, they were offering a discount of 50 Swedish crowns for the first month subscription, which is equivalent of €5 in the price that is from 20 to 45 euros. It's not even a big discount, but anyway, it was working perfectly. in that case. And in fact, even if they since then only did a couple of mailings with the targeted idea, I have to give credit to the direct marketing team that they were collecting a lot of data, they were analyzing it, and they were always pointing out or targeting something, and just I have to tell you that you will see what was the result of it. So here it is. So they started in January, around mid-January last year, and here are the active users, what they got. They started from scratch. You have to remember that now we are talking about a normal rollover machine, and the volume in general with the rollover machines is anyway something else that you will see in this presentation. But as you can see, it's a steady growth all the time. Today, more than 2,500 active users. And what is also super result, active subscriptions. They were having more than 500 active monthly subscriptions after 3 months of the opening. And this is for rollover business, this is a wonderful result, because we've seen same kind of results in USA with the washing tunnels, but I mean in rollover business, really I have to take the hat off. It's very nice work. And what is also interesting is that, as you can see, there were doubts about what's going on during the summertime, because the monthly subscriptions were not limited. You were able to take it or leave it whenever. Even 1 month is okay. So in fact, there is no drop or little drop in the autumn, and then again when the winter came, it's growing drastically. Then this is to prove that because they were pricing the night product nicely, they have a lot of washes starting from 9 o'clock in the evening. So they are using perfectly the time from 9 o'clock in the evening until, I would say, 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. So that was also very, very nice result. And then, in fact, this is the same thing as the monthly subscription. These are all the washes on day level. So monthly subscriptions plus the single washes. Even if we have, even if they have so much monthly subscriptions, every month they have several hundred of single washes with the normal price. And here the same thing. The seasonal variation is not a big one. So I mean, there is all the time traffic on the site, and again the trend is growing. And just to show it, because it's totally free, it's a very, very lively business that is going on there. So it's people are stopping, they are coming back, but the average number of subscriptions is all the time high. So really congratulations for the result. That is really a very, very good success. Okay, then our role in this, or in fact our systems role. So these are the main factors that I can recognize. So plate recognition itself, that's the key element to be able to run multiple products. So to have these subscriptions, single washes, bundles, whatever. It's also the element to collect this perfect customer behavior data. You will know exactly what's going on your site, because all the washes are started through the recognition. And of course, it's the key element to make the customer experience seamless and smooth, how it is today. So it's really the key element. Then what is nice that normally what's happening is that you have a single product based off business that you are supplementing by monthly subscription. But here, because they were starting from scratch, they did it other way around. So they have a monthly subscription production supplemented by single washes, and that's why the enormous numbers are possible. And of course, in general, hint to give you, if you want to have the best volume and the best margin, it's always the combination of of products and customer groups. So you need them all if you want to have the best volume. Monthly subscriptions, single washes, bundles. Then you need to have products for households, companies, and special types like professional taxi drivers. So if you play the game with all these different products and customer types, then you get the best volume and the best margin also. And then last but not the least is the Q camera. And just to tell you, in fact, when we started the business, that idea of the Q camera came from the end customer who said that I want to see when I go to the site. So put there a camera. And since then, we have been using it all the time. And here, it wouldn't be possible to run that kind of volume that the Dirt is doing without the Q camera and keep at the same time the customer satisfaction high, which is the case. So there are no complaints. Everyone is happy. There are queues, sometimes 3-4 cars, but I mean, it's going smoothly. And you understand why. It's so much easier to check it from the application than go and drive to the site to see what's the situation. So we don't know what's the percentage of the plus that the Q camera is giving, but it's very big. It's really very big. Good. And then when we get to the lessons learned, so first point, don't underestimate the potential of the digitalization. So if you are thinking about the digitalization based on the analog world, it's wrong, because it's another thing. The potential is much greater. So you have to think it from the open table and with open mind. Then you get the best result. And also, if you are looking and finding the potential there, you have to think about also that, hey, take the resources in use so that, like Mika said, the technology is just a tool. You have to use it properly. You need to have the passion, and then you need to have the human resources running the show. But whenever you do it, then you have a lot of opportunities to take there. Then take the car washing business in your own hands. What I mean here is that manufacturers or IT companies like Super Operator use us. So you have to be in lead, and these companies, we should just back up you and help you to make the business up and running. So that's very important. But remember that even if you are in lead, it doesn't mean that you have to do everything. You just run the show, because then sometimes if you don't have the resources and you don't know how to do it, then you have Cleverwaschen in Germany, you have Super Operator in Czech Republic, or there will be even other sales-oriented sales channels that can do the job. So, but you have to be in lead. That's very important. Then don't try to plan everything too far. Don't worry. This doesn't mean that you don't do the job, but this means also that whenever you have the basic skills, you have the basic knowledge, you have to jump in, because it's better that you learn from the customers, from the customer experience, and then you will find the best way to do the business. And very often I've asked this question: what's the difference between a good and bad idea? And then often it's the timing. And I have to repeat what Mika already said, that hey, the timing is perfect. Now it's the timing. So that's why instead of planning 3 years, plan necessary time and jump in. So then you will get the business going. And then just the closing remarks is that now this example was a super example from a concept that was created from scratch, and the success was good. But remember that if you have an existing network, the risks are much lower, but you can still gain a hell of a lot in sales, and you will get much better customer experience and feedback. So I would say that if you need to hear more, just let's meet at the consultation. We can go deeper this discussion, because 10 minutes it's too little to go very deep. So thanks about it. Do you have any questions about that?
Thank you, Ari. There are some questions for you in the chat. There's Mick asking Michael and Edward. So can you answer the questions in the chat?
Oh yeah, I'll start from the.
There's Mick at first.
Oh, yeah. I will start from Michael, Mr. Skolnick. So, do you have a separation between single losses and subscriptions? So, in this case, Dirt case, they were starting with the monthly subscription-based of concept. So, if they are washing best months more than 3,000 washes, there are about 750 single washes out of this. But I mean, then if you take an average, there are a couple of hundred of single washes with the normal price, and all the rest is the subscription. So I don't have the percentage, but this will give you the idea. And then in the other concepts, when you are starting from the single-based production and then you supplement it with the monthly subscription, there it varies hell of a lot. So in fact, I would need to dig on in some history of some examples. But again, it's about everything is based on the activity of your sales and marketing teams, how big numbers you can get. Then Edward was asking what is included in the subscription. So subscription means that there was they had a couple of different night subscription brushless. So they were just including different washing programs in each subscription, and they didn't put the limit, or they put the limit in 10 washes per month. That was the maximum number of washes what the customer was able to use. But it's not a secret. You will never attend or get that kind of numbers on average when you take the whole washing volume. I hope that was okay with Edward.
And you can always go to the webpage to see
Yeah.
They have this. And then there was a question from Mick concerning the case study. Those numbers are valid for how many sites?
Oh, sorry. Good question. So, in fact, this was one site. That was one site, and that's why the figures are so tremendous, because they started from scratch with a new brand and new concept. It's sort of a test site. I know that they have plans to go on now, when everything has shown so good figures. So, yeah, only one site.
Okay, now I think that we have to go on with Nico's presentation, and then in the end we'll take more questions. So Nico, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm Nicholas from Hamburg. I work for Axel Springer. I'm here now since 11 years. Some of you might know me and might know also the story. Mine is a little bit not that professional at the moment as Mika and Ari, because they are like for years in the industry. I started 4 years ago. I took over the role of the head of connected car at Axel Springer, and around 2.5 years ago, I came to the idea of the car wash and that it needs to change. But that was mainly because of my personal experience, and I wasn't a real car wash enthusiast. I went there like, I don't know, 3-4 times per year, and at one day I had to wash the car, and I had my son in the back, and I wanted to go to a tunnel because I wanted to stay in the car, and I couldn't find anything on Google Maps near our house, so I went to a rollover that was closer, and then I had this usual user experience of parking the car like a good German. I parked the car on the petrol station, so not in front of the car wash. I went into the shop, I bought the ticket, I had my kid in the car, I went back, I hoped it wouldn't be screaming already, and then I drove around the shop because the car wash was behind it, And then I had 2 cars in front of me, and one was already in the washer. And then, you know, the whole process of driving in, getting out, having this piece of paper, typing in the number. I left the station and I thought, okay, this was like, I don't know, 1 hour 15 in total for one car wash. And I thought, okay, maybe there's a way to make it different. And then I had 2 main aspects, and it's a lot of text here, but the first one was this transparency thing, that in Germany we have plenty of car washes and they all make their own programs, and these program names, they differ from Lotus effect to premium or platinum or I don't know, highly refreshed stuff, but it's mainly all the same, or like there are maybe 3 different, like really different types of car washes, and I wanted to understand it and then make it easy for the customers to understand. And the second part in this transparency was the opening hours, because we have the petrol stations and they have opening hours in the cities of 24 hours, but the car washes itself, they are not allowed to open that long. So whenever I went there, I didn't know whether the car wash was still open or was already open. So what we did was set up a database, put in all the car washes that we already have, because we have we did an acquisition in early 2016 of it's a company called Clever Tanken, which is a price comparison app for fuel, and they have, with that we have something around 5 million monthly active users. In Germany, it's like the biggest fueling app, and from there we took most of the data. The rest, like around 2,000, we researched ourselves. What wasn't the best experience doing that, but I learned a lot. So that was the first part. So we want to have this transparency around all the stations, where they are, what the opening hours are, how big they are. So can I drive in with my how do you call it, caravan or my bus, or can I go there with my Ferrari with this really big wheels? I don't have none of those, but some people do. And is there vacuum cleaning included? Is it for free? Do I have jet washes, for example? All that stuff we want to have in a database, and that's where we still, I mean, it's an ongoing process. We have the basis, but it really needs a lot of work still. And then the second part was this convenience thing that I asked a lot of people, and we did some research, and convenience was one of the main reasons why people don't wash their cars. So there are something like around 50% of the car drivers in Germany who wash their cars on a regular basis. That's not our target group because they are already served. But the other 50%, which comes to something like 25 million cars, they have some struggle washing their car. And convenience, time saving, how the state, like some were also afraid of, because they didn't know how the stations work. So do I have to type in a number? Do I have a coin? Do the people, if it takes too long, do people honk behind me and pressure me to be quicker? So we wanted to make this part very, very easy for the end customer. And then the third thing came along after I've been in talks with several operators, that marketing is not really easy if you're a small operator. The only thing that you have is your position on the street. So if people drive by, they see you, and you might put out a sign on Wednesday that is Washing Wednesday, but that's mainly it. Even to have and to maintain a Facebook or Instagram page, which I would recommend to everybody, but you need somebody to do it. And so marketing, and especially digital marketing, which is mainly our, I would say, home turf, was needed. And so we thought, okay, I thought let's take this digital marketing and what Mika already said, let's use it to get people interested in car washes who have maybe not even thought about car wash or that specific car wash. So to get them to a certain location. And talking further with the operators, we had, there are certain challenges that operators face, and it was this utilization first, like at what times do people really come to my car wash, and how can I manage to get more car washes in the early hours or in the late hours, like Dirt showed. Then we have this lack of people liking to wash their car due to certain diverse reasons, and that was here in the study, 57% of the car wash owners who only washed 0 to 4 times a year. And I would say if we can leverage that to 2 to 6 times, that would be a quite good impact. And then the marketing, which I mentioned, and what I hadn't thought about, but what I learned then later through the operators and through Super Operator, that it's really hard to get valid real uptimes, like what's going on in my car wash if it's not digitized. And so the solution was for us to build an app and put everything in it. We did some Facebook tests around our database, and we really had these people who like car washing, and they ask us 1,000 questions regarding jet washes and tunnels and what they can do, and is there music in the box, and can they bring their own car wash materials whatsoever. I mean, plenty of stuff. So we put everything in there and started building an app. And this app now looks something like that. We will have a slight rebrush in later this month, I think, or starting of May. And it's mainly a map with all car washes in Germany. If you click on one, or if you select your wanted one, you get to a detailed page where we have all the information about the car wash, and where we have the possibility for the car wash owner to make promotions, tell the customer what the best car wash or what the best bundle of products is that they can purchase. We have a slider there so you can show several offers. Then we have the products themselves, and for some partners, we now are working with Cleancar, which is a tunnel company from Germany. We have connected them to the digital solution of Super Operator, so you can directly purchase the car wash in the app, pay with PayPal or credit card, and then just drive to the station and wash your car via license plate recognition. And mainly the benefits from our side is that the car wash sites can be found faster and visited more often. We use all of our available marketing possibilities from Axel Springer. So Axel Springer, for the ones who don't know it, I think it's Europe's biggest media house. We have quite big outlets in Germany and especially Poland, and reach around 40 to 50 million users per month. That's it. And we can just use all the media that we have and target through this postal code marketing if it's digital. So we can say, okay, please only target on people who are living in Hamburg. And then we obviously have the older print assets that is newspaper, mainly only in Berlin. And we put ads in there to get everybody in Berlin available or aware of the car wash sites that we have connected in Berlin. Then we have the deals on the bottom left, so that the car wash operators can distinguish themselves from their competition. So we give all help that we have and use all tools that we have to make the deals perform best possible. And one of those tools is Clever Tanken, as I mentioned. Now, I think the number of 4.5 million, it changes. We had 5, I know that, but we use Clever Tanken to bring customers to the station. So we have several partners already included there. And I think it's about 100 deals we have in that app already. And we see drastic impact, because especially when the deal is really, really good, obviously, then people just see it and they open it and they go there. So we try to really push how people come to the station. And I mean, we need to, obviously, because the operators won't work with us any longer if they don't feel any impact. Then This is how we did it. So if we now in the case, for example, of CleanCar, we use the digital solution from Super Operator. It's mainly a box. It's called Master Box. It has 3 or 4 cables. 2 of them go to the cameras. So we have 1 camera for the QCam and 1 camera for the license plate recognition. Then we have an IoT SIM card from Vodafone, which can connect to any network available. So if the Vodafone network isn't sufficient enough, it connects to O2 or Telekom, Deutsche Telekom. Then we integrate all that with the POS to have all the data in the cashier system, so that especially in Germany, it's quite something like mandatory, I would say. I didn't know that before, but you have to have everything in the cashier system, else the authorities will come and like rip everything apart. And then we have the license plate recognition. And I must say, we built that app. We started last January, so in January 2020, and we had some hiccups at the beginning, but the license plate recognition never was a problem. And right now we are on a way that really the error rate goes down and down and down, and we just need to bring it to a 0. That's mainly it, and that's what we're working on right now. But when I first went to Helsinki and Super Operator picked me up from the airport, we went to one of the car wash sites. We looked into the app, looked where on the webcam or the Q cams where it was available, and no cars in front of the rollover. And we went there, and it was it just worked. I mean, at first I thought, okay, that there's something extremely amazing happening in front of the car wash, but obviously it was just the way it needs to be. So you don't have to think about it anymore. You just open the app, swipe, drive in, wash, drive away, and without any waiting time and without any friction in your head that you have to think about anything else than what you're already doing. And car wash is just one thing on the side, and that's why we are very much innovating on the product already. So with the CleanCar solution, we right now have it that you purchase the wash and then you start the wash in the app. We will change that into a solution where you can say that you always, we call it something like the as usual functionality. So if you go into a bar and the bartender says the usual, then that's mainly what we are doing. We will have the best wash for a very good price. You toggle a button and say, okay, I always want to have this wash if I come to a CleanCar station. So the solution will look like you toggle it once, that's it. You leave your cell phone or your smartphone, you leave it at home or in the car, it doesn't matter. You drive there, the license plate get recognized, and from your PayPal account, the, I don't know, 13 euro it's at the moment, will be booked in the moment that the license plate is recognized, and the car wash, the washing process can start. So it's, from a user perspective, I would say that the most innovative way of washing the car that we have seen until now in Germany. We have the flat rates in plan already, but you can have the flat rates and the automated purchase, we call it. And with that, we take the thinking about the car wash itself out of the minds of people and hope to get more and new customers to the operator. Then that's something that Mika already mentioned, all the data that we collect from the stations. I mean, that's a lot of text and we can go through it later, but it's at first it's data about the machine, about the washes, how many, when, what are the users. I mean, we can combine it with our database of usage. And then in the future, there's this sensor and AI controlled data, which really makes the whole thing innovative. And that's mainly it. The summary is, we strive to high utilization, and I mean, we saw it with Dirt. Our goal is really to bring new customers, so that we don't digitize your own old customers, but bring new ones through the whole network. We have a fast transition. We bring you a competitive advantage, blah blah, all that stuff. But I think in the whole in the whole car wash market, there will be you as an operator being digitizing your own customers, getting them to know them, and then it's us bringing even more customers through the digitization that you've already done. Or we do it together directly. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nico.
I see there's one question from Mick. POS integration means in detail that it depends on what kind of POS system you use, and we will integrate so that you have all the data in your POS system. So it's it looks like one flow of car washes, and next to it, it says, okay, this is a Clever Waschen car wash. But it's, yeah, that's mainly it. So we try to make it absolutely compliant with the financial authorities in Germany so that the operator don't have any problems. But that's mainly how it worked and should always work.
Thank you.
I have an answer to Mr. Roman Tunikov. He was asking on chat that what about if the plate is so dirty that it's impossible to read. In fact, the rule is so that if you can see it by your own eyes, the plate recognition is working. But if it's not, then you just have to clean it somehow. So if it's totally covered with the snow, it's the same effect. But if you can read it with your own eyes, then it's working.
Yeah, and I wanted to add to that one that, Roman, we wash 1.4 million cars, or 1.4 million car washes are managed through our platform, and the recognition rate is very good. But as Ari said, that there are situations when it's impossible. But the artificial intelligence helps a lot there, and it's one of those areas which we innovate constantly. Anyways, we are a little bit over the time, so thank you very much for participating.
One more question.
Sorry?
One more question. Yeah. How it works when an operator joins Clever Waschen and also wants the digital solution. That's just really quick. That's absolutely possible. So, and we encourage that because we think it's good if both parties are on board with the digital solution. And yeah, let's just jump into a call and discuss it. But it's absolutely doable, and we encourage it.
Then there is one from Uwe also. How many car washes have you connected in total? So I don't have the exact, but it's around 900 and something equipment that we have today. It's growing all the time now.
Okay, I think we are running out of time, unfortunately, but you can always contact us. And actually, to that point, we want to offer you sort of 1 hour free consultation. So where we can really drill in maybe to your specific situation and how we could help, and also share these best practices and ideas with you. So that's a really interesting offer. So just contact ari.olander@superoperator.com and book the time with him. And I'm sure also that if you have questions to Nico or to myself, so you can find us and connect with us, and we are there to help you and answer your questions. So with that, I want to say thank you very much for participating today, this first webinar, and there will be another one. Arja will send an email out pretty shortly and let you know when and what will be the topic. And if you have any kind of ideas about the topic you want us to talk about, please be in touch with Arja. And with that, I want to wish you very nice rest of the day, very nice spring, and good luck with your businesses. So thank you and goodbye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.